Now we are on item 10. And this is the City Council consideration of annual operational capital budgets for fiscal year 2014-15 and other actions for fiscal 2013-14. Does anybody want a staff report on this item?
I would.
Okay, Ms. Eden.
Good evening. The annual budget workshop was held a few weeks ago on May 28th. This was a 2.5-hour workshop that included discussion on the proposed budget as well as receiving direction to reserve an additional $1 million in the emergency contingency committed fund balance, adding 2 police officers for a homeless program, and entering into a partnership with the City of Riverside for a police helicopter program. The action items before you this evening are reflective of the funding presented in the budget workshop and necessary resolutions for the adoption of the budget, along with other items recommended for approval for the current fiscal year. The total budget for all funds in the proposed budget is $320.4 million, and the general fund is $117.9 million. This is a balanced budget. The proposed budgets are available on the city's website under Finance, as well as the presentation from the budget workshop. This concludes my report, unless you have any further questions.
I do have a follow-up. Ms. Eden, thank you. With respect to the tonight's agenda, as the items are listed, make sure I get this right. Item 10, A 13 through 21. There are a total of 8 different items contained in that section of the list, totaling $4,924,455 in transfers that are scheduled to occur on June the 30th. And then there's another $1 million transfer that's going to also occur on that day, or not a transfer, but a set aside for emergency contingency fund. Could you explain why those funds and that amount need to be transferred or processed on that particular day?
These are year-end items that are routine in nature that we do as part of the budget process for accounting entries that need to be done for various reasons. Each items 13 through 24, they're all...
I was addressing 13 through 21, if that helps.
Okay, 13 through 21. They're all different explanations with what they are, but in general, they are year-end cleanup items that need to be presented to council and receive your approval.
And do their collective or individual transfers, are they required for the purposes of maintaining the budget from one fiscal year to the next, or are these being reapplied for some other purpose that I wasn't able to understand?
Well, they are independent for each fiscal year. These are for items for fiscal year ending June 30, 14, and not all of them are transfers. For example, item 13 is asking for an appropriation of $65,000 for the warehouse fund. There was some project that was done in the warehouse, and the warehouse is its own fund, and we are asking for an additional appropriation to cover that project.
Okay, and then perhaps either you or Mr. Daly could comment on number 20. You described them as routine items, but number 20 seems to be a little bit more than the norm at $3.4 million to transfer between the electric utility fund to the water utility fund on June 30th. Can you provide some context to that?
Sure. This transfer is to repay the water utility for funds provided in previous fiscal years related to the Clearwater Cogen bond covenant. When the bonds were issued, the electric utility was new and did not qualify for any of the bond payments. The decision was made that the bonds were issued against the water and sewer funds, and this transfer is to reimburse the funds used to meet those bond covenants.
Very good. I'll stop there and allow my colleagues to provide any inquiry if they should desire. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Mr. Montanez. Oh, nobody has a question?
No.
I know this is very confusing to some folks, but following with the cleanup is is there monies that were spent in just replenishing different funds for monies to make the adjustments for the year in totals?
Correct.
Correct.
So I make the motion for the recommended action for 10A 1 through 24.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you.